Good afternoon, YouTubers. Hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. So I just wanted to come back to you with the book that we made yesterday, or the day before, I can't remember now. Last week, I can't remember what I'm doing from one day to the next. And show you, it probably could have been more in the middle, I'm not going to lie, but this happens to everybody, I guess. And like I said, this is only the second time I've done it, and the last one I did, I put 3 signatures in. So I think what I've done is spaced it incorrectly. It needed moving over slightly, and it also didn't help that this bit wasn't stuck at the back here. If you can see that, you can see how it's flapping down. It's still sticky, but yeah, so that's something not to do. Don't sort of leave it like I did, or do leave it and let it dry properly, and make sure it fits the spine properly, because I think it also, the reason it kept pulling it off was because it's a slightly too wide. It's got to fit just this bit here, not anything further down or anything like that. It's the bit that bends. So I suppose technically you could say it's just there and there. See how that sort of bends, but what I think I've done is from there and there. So this is quite a small book, and I have to say it was harder to do than my other one, which was slightly bigger. If you can see the difference in size, the 3 was easier to do than just the two signatures. I managed to sort of space them out much better on my first one, so that's definitely something to remember. I'm not going to go through and change this one now. It's on there. It's majority of it's stuck. It looks okay. The centre of the books are nice and neat, and the back is all stuck down and everything. So it's just the front that we've got a little bit of an issue with, but I'm going to stick a piece of paper over the middle bit there and hide it. The same with on the spine. I'm going to find something to stick over that so you won't be able to see it. I'm going to find one piece of paper that you can just go straight over. Now this video is part 3. And with this one I wanted to show you, which is probably incorrect, but this is what works for me. I wanted to show you how I stick in my pages. I'll grab this one again. So like I go through, and if you've got a plain white page, I stick a piece on there. Now I put lined on mine so I could write down anything, ideas. This is my ideas journal basically. So if you look through it from the front, there's stuff in there that makes me feel like inspired, and things like that, as you'll see, because these are all my cutouts. Now these are some printed, some are books that I've dismantled, and like I said in part 2, there are a few that have been a casualty, and I have the insides to prove it there. But there's lots and lots of bits that I gather up around the house, bits back in paper books that I've bought, paper that I didn't even really know I had, until I started looking through it and finding that I've got some really nice stuff. So it's really an inspirational thing for me. I will be making one for my daughter at some point. Hopefully it'll be straight, unlike this one I've just done. But I don't know where the bits are that I've done for hers. But just, you know, I chuck away nothing. Like I said in the last part 2, I literally throw away nothing. If I can cut it out, I'll add it to this pile. If it's too long for this pile and it's like an edging, these are my long, like wide edged bits. These are thin edged bits. And then up here are bits. Literally, quite literally bits. Down to something as thin as that, which I keep because it's great if you want to build up. I think I showed you in the part 1 or part 2, one of my other books that I do, that I keep all my cake designs in. I like to make different pieces of paper, cards, whatever I've cut out, stickers, because I've got stickers to do, which we're going to do in part 4. I know that seems like I've dragged it out a little bit. I haven't. The reason I've done that is so that the video is not that long. I like to try and keep it as short as possible for you, so it's a lot of information. Hopefully I've shared with you about doing these things, and what it's like to do it for the first time, second time, whichever, and how intimidating it is. and that's why I've broken it down into 4 parts, which is how I do it. It's 4 parts. So I've got the first one, the preparation of the signatures and all of that. Second one is stitching it in, which is what we did, wonky. The third one is now my sticking in my bits of paper. I mean, you could also do inking if you wanted to on the corners. I'm not ready for inking yet. It's definitely not one of my favourite things. It's just messy. I find it messy. I'm sure that others... I mean, if there's a way I'm doing it wrong, or there's a way that you can do it that's not messy, please sort of leave in the comments, because I would like to, because the people that do... And so there are some fantastic journal making on here, but the people that do use it, they never seem to get into a pickle with it. I always end up more browner than what I wanted, and there never seems to end up as much on my piece of paper that I wanted from that. Corner cutters. Now I've got some corner cutters. I ordered them. I thought, oh, it looks fantastic on other people's, and I find them really hard to use. They just do not seem to cut them properly. Well, you can see there's only a few in there, look. And that's cutting the corners and trying to cut the corners. I think it's because mine are more paper than they are card, the bits that I stick in. So whether or not that's a reason for it, I don't know. Quite probably. And sometimes as well, my card that I've got left over doesn't always necessarily mean it's straight. And with these, you do have to literally push the corner clean in and cut. Now I did see somebody put on here that if you've got a piece of paper that's too small to get in one of these, then you should put a post-it note on it. Let me show you. So post-it note, and then you shove that in. Oh, it did work that time, look, but it's just very, very small. I guess how much do I want taken? Oh, look at that. Okay, so that's something we might look at then in the future. But for me, I just find it a bit of a faff at the moment. I'm not ready for that sort of thing. And I know it sounds something so simple, but it's quite important. So I want to get one bit done to how I like it before I move on to the next. Okay, so I go through, not including these front 2 pages. I've left these 2 on my other one as well. I'm not ready. I want to find something pretty special for this. And for the outside, I want to find something nice. Now I have got a leather jacket up in the loft from when I was a kid, and when my husband locates it, because we moved a year ago, so we're just starting to sort of really sort of settle down now. But now it's been put somewhere in the loft and nobody can find it, so it's up there somewhere. And as soon as I get it, perhaps I'll do a video or something of how I managed to cut it out and stick it on and that, because I don't know how it will react with the glues and that I have. So I go through each page. Find the boring plain ones. That's a boring plain one. Not massively though, because it's pink. Let's carry on and find. Now I did find on the other one that I did, by sticking in too much at this stage is where I've got myself into a pickle, because without putting anything else in there, it's a bit full. So that's something just to sort of keep an eye on, because I haven't put stickers or nothing in there yet. So that's going to make it even wider. But I suppose, you know, it's nice to look at it and look through it, I guess. I don't know. I like it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's right. So please do remember that, folks. I'm just doing what I like. And so should you. You should do the things that you like. And you should take note of it as well, so that when you come to do it again in the future, you can do and use that, and you know what it is you like and what you want to do, step by step. I always do that. I tend to, I'm a bit of a funny one. I'll write it out or type it up. See, there's the start of it, look. Well, what I'm finding is this has got so many, like I said in the last video, and probably the first, there are so many small things that have to be done. So to start with, you've got to treat it like 2 different things, which is where I'm struggling, I think, with this. So you've got to do the cover, just these bits, let it dry. Let it dry, don't be impatient like I was, because what I think has happened is that moved about when I had and was doing my holes, and then it moved over. So it was probably right on the spine that I did on the, let me move you back a little bit. Oh. Yeah, when I did it on this and marked it out, so I knew where to push the owl through, I think that moved sideways, and I think that's why it's not stuck. So, and I think that's what it was. Anyway, moving on. So, plain blank page. This one here is just a plain white one. So I will undo my clip. Now, if you've got, like me, you've always got little bits, which aren't finished. So it's just a case of going through and finding something that inspires you. Okay, so that one inspires me, but it's not quite big enough. I wanted something a little bit bigger. Shrek. And Donkey. I think Shrek fits on there beautifully, I'm not going to lie. I think he looks good. Should we go with that one then? We'll go with Shrek. With the white background, it kind of looks good. Now I've got Prick Stick. I'm going to use Prick Stick. The only thing I don't like about Prick Stick is getting it everywhere. So I'm going to use a piece of plain paper. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what might work better. I've got a piece of this, which I've been drawing on for my gnome video, trying to figure out what I want to do gnome-wise. I might be able to clean that up afterwards when we're done. So, a bit of Prick Stick. Now, Yoo-Hoo do one of these, UHU, which I will be purchasing one of those, because apparently they're supposed to be really good. I do have this, which is Yoo-Hoo, I think it might be Child. It's got a little sponge on the end, which is really good. That dries probably as quick as Prick Stick, but I always end up, with you using the Prick Stick, bending the piece of paper like I've just done, and making a bit of a... Right, but it's only done it because it's got little bits. If you use the Yoo-Hoo one, use it, but when you do use it, make sure you dab it down as against wipe it, because it will tear off, because it makes the pages a little bit wetter. Unlike the Prick Stick is just... oh, that's just stuck to my my side. Right, now another thing I do is I get everything skew width, and it's in the wrong place completely, so I'll try and get this one straight for once. There we go. So there we go, Shrek's in there now. So as an inspirational one, which is what... oh, remove that. Inspirational one, which is what this will be. I've got some gnomes. Now I just print these offline. I just take a screen dump of them, and some of them I'm probably not supposed to download, but they're not going on show, they're not being sold or anything like that, but nevertheless. So do be careful what you download and where you download it from. So I just generally do... what's going on here then? I don't know. I generally look for free ones, is how I do it, and then take a screen dump of what I've got. So now it's just a case of going through. I've got my pile here. I'll just push that out of the way. I've got this here, and it's got loads of different things in here. So it's a case of just finding what I like. I like that. See how it's got the bit of paper mark on it, the wet marking on it. So I'd have to cut it down there so it was at least even. So that's a nice one. My Patriot. So this came out of one of the books that was unfortunately donated and binned. So that's a book. I like things like this. I like script. Very much so like script. Cogs, that's punk. Can't think what it is now called. Either way, I love it. It's punk. Oh, my brain is like, it feels like mush sometimes. I try to put some on so I don't have to cut them. I don't like cutting any of the bits off. I've kept them for a reason. Bumblebees are another thing that I really like. No, it don't look right. That's one of my little names that's waiting to be coloured in. Like I say, when I do my daughter's one, I think that will be quite exciting, because she's into all her heavy metal and punk stuff, and Aussie, gorillas, all that sort of thing. She's very into all that sort of thing. So it would be really nice to do one that's sort of that calibre. What about that on there? We could cut that as well, couldn't I? I don't know, it doesn't look right, does it? I'm not happy with that. Yeah. It's a shame that none of these will fit on there. going on here then? Oh my goodness. Oh, don't like that. I don't know where that came from. Okay, so we're not doing so well with this bit, are we? I've got loads of bits and bobs and I can't find nothing to go on there. That's one of my favourites. Doesn't look right either, does it? Perhaps we'll leave that page because it's Shrek that's putting it off, I think. So we can always go back to it. I like this ombre sort of set. Hey, you can see Shrek through that. Perhaps we'll leave that because I quite like that. Yeah, we'll do that then. Right, now this was a back-in on this, which was a picture on one side. If I show you the picture. So it was the ombre on the back. And then really silly, on the other side of the ombre was a picture you had to cut out. So I think you can agree with me. I did the right choice and kept the ombre. So this has got to be covered, this bit here, but I've got a skull and candles this side, if you can see that, which I really like. So I need something to cover that that's going to cover a large portion of it. I don't know. The trouble is my daughter's been through all these and she's taken what she wants to of them. And now I'm just going through and finding out which ones I've got left. Which isn't as many as I thought it was. So I will need to go back through and check hers. Sometimes just a piece of plain card will stick on it. There's a little pocket on there, look, that I've made. But again, it won't fit on there. What if I just cut that edge? If I make a mark, because I don't want to cut underneath that. Oh, I can't, that's not going to work anyway because it's got to be longer. It's got to cover the whole page. That might be one that I'm going to have to come back to and have a look at because it's going to have to be a specific piece. I wonder whether that would work. The trouble is, it's a bit... I see what I mean, folks. I am really, really fussy at what I use, and as should you be. Pick what you need to and only what you want to. So this could be a really good moment where I would use... So say that on. But see how my page is not straight, my piece of cardboard. Which I'm not surprised. So keep it straight to this edge when you stick it on, and then we're going to find something to go along the bottom there. Does that look good with that? I don't know. If we do it like that, then I'll be able to use pretty much whatever I want to. I think that goes really well with it. Right, okay. We're going to have to do a bit of chopping around here, which I know I said I don't like doing, and I don't generally, but if we're clever about it... No, not going to work, is it? I'm going to take that off this side of the clock. Now, over the time, I have learnt to use the ruler. Saves getting the cutter out. The only thing I can say with this is once you make your pull, do not stop. Keep going nice and fast, and it comes off clean. So this now can be used, and I think it's really pretty because it's got a little clock on it, so we might be able to use it on this piece now. So let's see where we're at with this now. So that's gonna, do we take it from the inside like that? Now I'm going to take it from the outside because this is plain here. It just means we'll be covering up a plain patch, whereas if we go from the outside we'll be covering up the actual pattern on it, which is really lovely. Right, okay. So my old friend, double-sided sticky tape, love it. Absolutely love it. You ain't got to wait for anything to dry. And it's very simple to use. And it's very cheap. I think this was 5 rolls from Hobbycraft in UK, which was, I think it ended up being £3. So something like that. But you can also get it off of Amazon. I like the thinner stuff off of Amazon, which around here somewhere I have got a roll. I have got some thinner stuff somewhere. Well, I don't know what I've done with that. Okay, I have a whole bag. So I've got my thinner rolls. So thin rolls, and then I've got my thick roll. So sometimes, like if I'm doing an edging or something like that, this one comes in great. If I'm doing something bulk like this, perfect. So the thinner one came off of Amazon. It's very cheap on Amazon. 5 rolls, or 6 rolls I think it was. Okay, so I always have to put everything out of my way because I always end up sticking everything to everything. And like I say, I always end up getting it skew with. And with this sticky tape, there's no second chances. So make sure it's around the right way. And we're going to stick it to the outside of the piece of paper. So make sure you're lining it up with, there we go, how's that? That's the best piece I think I've ever stuck on. There you go. So that's that bit on. Oh no, we are a little bit at the bottom here. But I can live with that. So now we're going to look at the bit we cut off. We could now move inwards. That would work, wouldn't it? If you don't want the rough looking edge, just trim it off. It comes off, it comes off really easily. I'm going to put the lid back on that actually, because I just end up with it everywhere. I'm a bit of a nightmare. I'm a bit of a klutz when it comes to things. See? Things like this. Okay, so I'm going to just trim off the white bit that you can see, and it leaves a beautifully straight edge, and you haven't had to sort of mess about too much with it. Did you see me then when I did that? Ah, yes. Yeah, you did, yeah. Right, brush it out of the way. So this, measure it up. It's going to take 1 thick piece. Let's push that out the way. And then I'm going to... It doesn't matter if the edges flack slightly. It really doesn't matter. I just sit up here now quietly and I just go through each page. Then I kind of look at the stickers then afterwards, and like my gnome embellishments. I want to do some, we'll do a pocket I think next, because I want to show you how I do a pocket. I mean, you might do it a bit easier of some way, or I mean literally there's no nicenesses about it. I just sort of make it and fit it, if you like. I don't believe in just, I like, oh no, see, I don't faff about at all or anything like that. Some people on the journaling websites and videos and that they're on YouTube, they do such a beautiful job, and I look at it and I want to do it so badly, but it just seems really, I don't know, I think it's because I'm not at that place at the moment. So as soon as I will be, I'm sure I'll adopt some of the ideas that they do, because they really do some beautiful things. Oh, what's on there then? Will that fit? No, I think it's a bit busy. I'm going to keep that out. Quite like that. Random ridge. Right, I know what I'm going to use that one for. Okay, so that's a black. Nope. I think it needs to be a bit of a plainer colour, I think. Just a bit of plain colour. Like, oh, that's got a crow on it, of course. Anyway, you get my gist. I'll go back and do this in a minute, because you don't want to sort of sit staring at me doing that. Okay, so let's go on to a page where we're going to put a pocket. I cut the edge of that out, so that's, if you can see that, I cut that edge out so it gives it a little bit more character. Should we do a pocket on the back here? So, pocket. Find a piece of paper, card. That works really well. I quite like the colour. Nice. And then you can either fold it down on itself and then back up, and I leave a very, very, very thin white line so that you know where it sort of goes. So that's pretty much, and I'm going to stick that down into place. I might cut the sides off, make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to stick it down. And then that then will become a pocket. Some people, and I have done it in my other one, let me show you. I was looking, there's a really lovely lady who does it, and she does it so well that, there you go, there's one. I made it a bit short, to be honest, but it's keeping, this page came down out the bottom here, and then you literally fold it over. Let me see if I can find another one. Yeah, there's one. I don't like that one. I don't know that I'm going to keep that one. There's a little one there. So I kept the page coming right down and out the bottom here, and then folded it over, which is what the chicks are. I'm not so keen on that, so that's going to get an edge in at some point. And then that leaves me, so I can just tuck in anything little in there. Well, not quite that big, but if you get the gist. So that's one way, a really good way of doing it is that way. It's just literally folding it up. Very simple. A lot of people use envelopes. I couldn't quite grasp the whole envelope thing, but yeah. Still not kind of grasping the envelope thing, but I'm sure it's just me. Just not grasping it. Until you sort of had a go at doing it, you don't kind of realise the in-depth and how good these people are on YouTube, and they really are fantastic at their craft. And I hope to one day be as half as good as what some of them are on here. A lot of them, but yeah, they really are good at it. They make it look so easy, but it's not always quite that easy. Okay, so there's the first one. So we're going to stick down, and then we're going to do this bit. Oh no, this might be too thin. So just measure it. Oh no, as long as we're tight. As long as just sort of measure up what size. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a right pickle here. Like that. And then that's going to stick to there. So let's stick that down first. Do we want to, yeah, I'm going to keep it the length that it is. So let's stick those to make the actual pouch first. So let's stick that on there. Use your boner if you need to. Like I say, mine's a cricket, just a cricket. It's used to get the bubbles out of things, but it works just as good as a boner, a boning tool. Boner, that's terrible. A boning tool. But you can find anything really in the house, as long as it's got a flat edge. It would work exactly the same. If anybody's got any easier ideas as well about taking this white outsides off. I've tried using tweezers, and they just kind of get in my way. I think it's probably just me. Right, so there we've got it. So I found that if I bowed it a little bit, and just sort of bent the ends out a little bit, so that when you stick it on, it kind of leaves it with, if you can see there, a bit of an opening there, so it's not stuck tight to the page. And this one I'm only going to use little, because I want the pocket to be as big as it can, so that it's not under any stress or strain. So you just go out the edges. I've got a fairly large pocket here, so it doesn't look straight either. But that's me all over. I'm all skewy. My brain is a complete wally at times, but I like it. I am who I am. So if I ever do a video and you see something that I'm doing wrong or I'm missing, or you've got an easier way of doing it, please let me know in the comments. I would very, very much appreciate it. I mean, there's always room for improvement, and I certainly have got that. I've got videos up on, coming up, I'm making some outside air dry clay for out in the garden gnomes. I'm hoping to do a female and a male. But I've got two different, I've got Das air dry clay and another make, I don't know, I'll have to have a look at it. But we'll go through all that in the video. Let's stick that in. There we go. So now we've got a little pocket. So that works really nicely, and we're going to be able to slide. Let's cut that bit off there. Oh, it's gone. Let's try that one. There we go. Slide stuff in there and keep it in there, because I do like my little gnomes can go in there. That works very well. These have got to be coloured in, so I will sit and do some colouring at some point. There. That's still too big, look. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a little gnome in there now. Or you could decorate it with a little gnome on the front. It's whatever works for you, really. Whatever you like. Like I've done with that one, cut the page out. So we've got the nice top on there, pockets. I mean, when you make the book in the first place, try and get some really nice pages in there, but there are also room for white bits, because you're going to not always have double-sided backing paper. Sometimes you're going to have, like that one, just a one-sided backing paper. So do try and remember that you'll be able to play about with whatever you've got. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. Please hit that subscription button. I've got another video coming out which we're going to look at stickers and all that sort of thing, which will be the next one, and we'll go from there. But please hit that subscribe button. It is really, really greatly appreciated. We've got some knitting reviews, well, crocheting reviews on a fairy pattern that I bought, and it is fantastic. It really is. So I wanted to sort of share with you with that. And we've got, like I say, the Das Het air dried clay. I've got phone case with polymer clay. I've got 2 white vases, which I'm going to do mushrooms on one and a hedgehog on the other. But look in, my mum's nickname is Moose. The grandchildren call her Moose. Long story, which I won't go into now, but I wanted to find a moose or something to put on the front of one, and then something that corresponds with a moose on the other one, so that the two come hand in hand, because they're both exactly the same pot, they're just 2 of them. So I thought I might give her one of those or something as a nice little gift, that she can keep one of her pots and use it as a house plant or something. So I've got that coming up. So any ideas what would go with the moose? Please leave it in the comments. I really would appreciate that, because I can't think what you'd marry up with a moose. So we go from there. So please, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, and you won't miss another video coming up, and we'll go from there. Thank you ever so much, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.